to catch a bluefin tuna. These fishermen are risking their lives. Throttle malfunction, boat out of control. They still hold on to their fishing rods, facing an ocean that threatens to swallow life at any moment. They chose to stick it out, a fierce battle that lasted more than an hour. Eventually, tens of thousands of dollars worth of bluefin tuna were hauled onto the ship. Every hook throw here is a gamble. Every time you pull in the net, it's a fight to the death. If you seize it, you have a chance to turn over and become rich. But this battle is just the beginning. The tuna market is now recovering. The captains who learn the news can't wait to catch some tuna. Bring yourself a lot of money, especially where Bob's fishing now. It's a long way from his home. If I don't catch any tuna today, Bob's fortune would be in the red. Can't even pay for 2 men on deck. I had to work for nothing, but I get the feeling he really wants them to take no pay. That's when OTT radioed in. Start this boring time. But OTT seems to be on the wrong side of the fence. Just a few words before turning around and setting up mackerel bait. No more bragging with Bob over there. After OTT laid out the bait, that's when the radar detector sounded. But the people on board did not pay any attention until the tuna bites the hook. Only then did several people have an obvious reaction. After Timmy took the fishing rod, Otter then spread the news of the fish. He seemed pretty sure they'd catch the tuna. While he was still showing off, Tim spotted Bob's boat ahead of him, and the tuna ran away towards them. OTT immediately asked Bob to change course, in case something happens to the tuna. Watching Bob move so slowly, Tim was a little jumpy. Tuna's strength is too much for him to control. Afraid Bob's boat will cut the line. But there's no other way now. Tuna's got a lot of energy right now. Can pull the line and run. We can only hope Bob moves fast enough. After half an hour of intense confrontation, OTT and Tim are a little tired. The tuna still has plenty of energy. Even then, he tore the fishing line. The smile vanished from OTT's face in an instant. He thought it would be a little longer. I can catch this big tuna. But now I can only look at the broken fishing line, lamenting the capriciousness of the world. Marcia on the hard merchandise. I'd love to see a tuna on the fishing rod out there, not mackerel, which is a little overstocked in the sea. There's so much demand for tuna now. I just caught one that wasn't very good. I can get a high price from a buyer. I didn't want to miss this opportunity. The same goes for the guys on the tuna net. But his hopes are a little different than Macius. He wants big, good tuna. After all, he didn't catch any fish on his last trip. Now he must catch a good tuna to make up for 2 days of losses. For this, he took out a small notebook of his previous records, where he used to catch tuna. Try to catch a big fish. Bob here, after finding out that Otter didn't catch a fish. The heart is very happy. Don't look at the two good relations like brothers. But with tuna, you lose one fish. It's harder to make money without one. In order to catch the tuna before OTT does, Bob uses kite fishing. He flies kites and hangs mackerel to attract tuna. Arrange multiple fishing rods at different depths. It doesn't matter where the tuna is. One mackerel will always end up in the tuna's stomach. After a few people have finished all the arrangements, he starts to wait for the tuna on the deck. As Bob prepares to wait in another position, the pole behind John suddenly bent over. There's a tuna on the hook. They're about to make what they make today. Now, John looks at the state of the fishing rod. There's something wrong with this tuna. A little too clever by half. I can't believe I'm running straight ahead. Instead, he's going around and around trying to get the rope together. But this method is useless. Bob just keeps moving the boat forward. I can prevent this from happening. But the tuna's circle will cause it to come close to the boat. Maybe even pulled to the surface by John. When Manny saw an opportunity, he put the tag down. It's just a slight difference in aim. 2 consecutive missed hits. Bob looked disgusted. I've been catching tuna for years. Why can't you do this little thing right? You have to teach on the side to hit it. After pulling the tuna to the surface, Bob tied the rope up at once. Finally, the fish, known as blue gold, was in hand. After a little cooling, several men worked together to drag it onto the deck. Looking at this fat tuna, the measurement result, 2 meters 28, a real big fish. A tuna that meets expectations. Dave and Paul on the other side. They're both very anxious now that the morning's almost over. They haven't found a tuna yet, and Bob has caught the fish. This made Paul decide to head for the sea. Let's see if we can catch a tuna in there, even if it's hundreds of miles away. But Paul thinks he caught tuna there. Better chance of catching a fish than this. At 3:30 in the afternoon, Tyler also decided to switch positions to fish for tuna. Go near Spotty's fishing spot. After all, he's known as the father of tuna. The old man must have picked a good spot. But when Tyler had to move the boat, there seems to be a problem with the windmill. The throttle control system on the deck has failed. Taylor panicked. The control system on the deck was broken, meaning he had to rely on the cockpit while fishing. This certainly makes the whole fishing process more difficult. This makes tuna fishing much more difficult. As a result, Taylor changed his strategy. No more fishing trips to Spotty's, but continue to wait here. Bob is now at the port with the tuna. Their second fish was 2 meters. Such a big fish makes Bob very excited. How many manies can I make today? After getting rid of the useless stuff. Tuna carries 277 pounds, 126 kilograms. Next comes the quality of the fish. Rick looked at the fish. It means that the above problems are really many. There's very little fat, and the color looks bad. Even the core doesn't look good. But transparency is a good thing. So we can get the price down to $16 a pound. Got Bob's and his crew $4,432. The reward made several people happy. Fortunately, the current market has a very good phenomenon. Otherwise, fish like this are worthless. The Time Flies has now dropped its anchor. Jack and Nick both enjoy fishing alone. Every time I go out, I'm the only one in the sea. They have to pick up the pace. To have a chance of catching tuna today, making a lot of money. Then the detector suddenly made a noise. The fishing rod also stirred at this time. Nick stepped forward to control the back of the rod. Jack took the opportunity to put on his gloves. Move the rod to the bow position. After this brief encounter, it turns out the fish is huge. After Nick took over the fishing rod, it soon pulls the tuna to the surface. Speed, then call it fast. But after Jack put the spear down, did not succeed in hitting. Gives the tuna a little respite. But Jack didn't give it another chance. After successfully hitting the tuna, after Jack tied the rope, the pair also got their second fish of the year. Look at this giant tuna. Jack found Dave to show off. I just started fishing for tuna today, and I made it. And now Dave wants to catch a fish. I'm gonna die when I hear the news. After a while, the two men pulled the tuna into the boat. The fish was measured at 2.18 meters, well in line with their fishing expectations. Dave on the other side, when he found out Jack was on the fish, speechless and want to laugh, just left the fishing spot where Jack caught his fish. Dave turned and told the news. Make the other fishless captains happy. This guy's a little bad. You're pulling the hatred that Jack didn't pull, and he himself is now in port. Sell your own tuna. Two people now, the heart is still a little uneasy. The tuna that came all this way. If the quality is not good enough, we're going to lose money on this cruise. The final fish weighed 251 pounds, 114 kilograms. Next comes the quality of the fish. Rick looked at the flesh of the fish. Thought it was worse than Bob's. Too dark with too little fat. The core is still looking at the past. But it's not great. We can only offer it at $13 a pound. Although the unit price is not very high this time, but it still earned them $3,012. When night comes, not only did Tyler fail to find any trace of the tuna, the boat problem is not solved. He can only keep setting up fishing rods, patiently waiting for the tuna to bite. They didn't know what else to do. Tyler starts explaining everything in his spare time. How do you tie a tuna bait? First, take out a crystal clear rope through the little hole in the back of the hook. You've got a beautiful hook. Through Tyler's own tricks, tuna's favorite fish, mackerel, is ready. With the bait thrown into the sea, Tyler really wants the tuna to bite tonight. When space is bright again, Marcia came to his secret fishing spot. Last time he was here, he caught tuna. He was hoping to catch it this time, no longer drifting on the sea. And Taylor on the other side is very upset. You're in a bad mood with a bad throttle on deck. So good last night bait down. The tuna didn't take the bait. And now Tyler's kind of looking for something to catch. You're giving the tuna a lot of credit, while Tyler was still out there complaining. The detector on Meisha's ship is making a noise. Taylor's fishing rod was bent. This is a little weird. Marcia's instrument went off. What's going on with Tyler's fishing rod? That's when Marcia's pole began to bend. They got Tuna on the hook now. Tyler is moving the rod to the back of the boat. He immediately ran back to the cockpit to control the ship's movements. Hard goods number on Jason in a brief encounter found this tuna very strong. While Tyler was running around on the boat, Marissa's still putting on her pants, and not in a hurry. This made Taylor even busier, just in case the tuna gets away during this time. And what happens when you're more afraid of something? As soon as Tyler grabbed the fishing rod, he saw that the tuna had broken free. He froze in place. His heart is full of doubts. Why is the fish still running away when you're so busy? What's there to be confused about? It's hard not to lose a fight with a tuna. Hard product numbers are different. They have now reached the final moment of truth. Can be found when the tuna is pulled out of the water. This fish is a little small, like a yellowfin tuna. Obviously, it doesn't even meet the government's 5'8" limit, although such small fish cannot catch. But that doesn't mean you can't catch it. Jason immediately marks the fish when he grows up in the future. At exactly 10 o'clock in the morning, Dave found a new fishing spot. I don't know if he'll catch it this time, but according to Dave, there are plenty of mackerel and whales. I'm sure I can catch some tuna. That's what he said when he picked a spot. His gas bill now tops $1,500. If I don't catch another tuna today, the fish that will be caught sometime in the future will be used to fill this hole. Next, the men began fishing for mackerel bait, getting ready for a little tuna fishing, even though it's losing money. But don't let that slow you down. What needs to be done still needs to be done. More than half an hour later, the probe sounded. There are traces of tuna in the water. The men on board immediately stood on the deck, waiting for the tuna to appear. Then the fishing rod suddenly dropped into the sea. There's a tuna on the hook. Because it happened so suddenly, few men had time to retrieve the anchor. Jody had to untie the rope and throw it away. When Sandro was fighting Tuna, make sure the fish is a big one, decided to use up most of the tuna's energy first. It took longer than before. The fishing rod also stays bent, but the line has slowed down. Sandro fought back. Soon the tuna is pulled to the surface. The two sides fought for another 10 minutes. It's Dave's time to kill, but then something awkward happened, although it missed the mark this time. But Dave quickly rallied. Behind a successful fish this time, several people also became excited. They finally caught their first tuna of the year, with the tuna being pulled to the boat. Several people also measured the fish to be 2.39 meters long. Not one of Marcia's little fish. When the tuna net returned to port, Tyler began to look for the problem with the throttle, although now can discharge fishing for most reasons. It's only the electrical box that hasn't been checked yet. Tyler just got into this little place. It just feels like the humidity. It corroded whatever was inside. A simple clean is all it takes. While Tyler was still busy in there, Marissa spotted a tuna. It's 60 feet under the water. At this point, the fishing line was pulled out for hundreds of meters. Looks like this tuna is big. To make it in a few seconds, when Tyler found out about it. I hope this tuna isn't running anymore. Can be pulled to the boat. When Taylor tried to move the boat, he found that the throttle problem was still there and had to run back to the cockpit to take control. After Marissa took over the fishing pole, the tuna has gone a long way. Tyler was so frightened that he had to restart the boat. I'm afraid the tuna will take this opportunity to run away again. Marissa took the opportunity to recover the fishing line, but Tuna won't let it go. He pulled the line again and ran to the deep sea. Taylor took the fishing rod to pull the tuna to the side of the boat. After more than half an hour of fighting with Taylor, tuna are also coming to the surface. And now is the most important time. If Marissa doesn't have control of the ship, the line will rub against the hull and break. Two people in this tense atmosphere. The fight lasted for several minutes. The tuna came to the surface of the boat. Marissa walked over to Tyler. Look for an opportunity to pull a tuna. Taylor immediately put the spear on it. After successfully hitting the target, Marissa put the fishing rod down too. Grab one side of the rope and tie the tail. After chilling the tuna for a while, the two men pulled the fish into the boat, ready to send the tuna to the buyer. By simple measurement, this fish is 2.16 meters. Their fishing skills are excellent. I can still catch a fish in this difficult situation. It was late afternoon. Dave and his tuna came to the harbor. The buyer hoisted the fish into the warehouse. Remove unwanted shark fins and heads. This tuna also carries 321 pounds and 146 kilograms. The first fish is this big and people are happy. The quality of the fish is also very good. Beautiful color with cherry red. The core is much less and the fat looks less. The overall quality is so poor that I can only offer the price at $13. But fortunately, there are more than last year. All earned $4,173. Can offset the loss caused by this trip to the sea. It was after 11 o'clock at night. Tyler also made it to the harbor. This tuna of theirs is big, though. But after getting rid of the useless stuff, it's just 257 pounds, 116 kilos. This made both of them quite sad. But if the core and tail are good, then it's not even a thing. The buyer looked at the red meat, decided the fish was good, has a good fat distribution. The core also looks more transparent. But being stingy can't be expensive. I was paid $16 a pound. That brings them to $4,112. The reward pleased Taylor. The season has been going on for a while, but there are boats that haven't caught any tuna. And the first two even made tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know how they're going to catch up. Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode.